My next guest is a filmmaker and activist who spent her career elevating voices impacted by gun violence. Now she's telling her own story in a powerful new memoir that explores how healing and activism can go hand in hand. It's called Dumb Girl, a journey from childhood abuse to gun control advocacy. And author Heidi Yewman joins me now. Thank you for joining me.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So you've spent decades advocating for gun safety. What's really driving this passion?
So it started when I graduated from Columbine High School 13 years before the massacre. I had a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old at the time, and my basketball coach and typing teacher, the one teacher that was killed in that massacre, had been so important into my life. And I went back to his funeral, and I was sitting in a pew at his funeral looking at former teachers, former students with red, swollen eyes. We were all in such shock. And it was at that moment that I decided I've got to get involved, and I want to advocate to stop this kind of thing from happening. So that was the beginning of my journey.
Wow, thank you for sharing that story. And after years of speaking up for others impacted by gun violence, why do you feel like now, more than ever, is the time to tell your story?
Well, it's for me personally, it was really important. I was keeping the secret about being molested by my brother. I was keeping the secret of the abuse that I had from my dad, the physical and the emotional abuse. And it was important for me to get my story out, to get it out of my body. And then what's happening with gun violence, I mean, daily we're getting deluged by mass shootings, school shootings. Kids are being traumatized every day by these active shooters drills, which is important, but it's traumatizing. And so I wanted to continue. I'm a storyteller. I really enjoy telling other people's stories, especially their trauma stories. And so it was time for me to tell my own story and add my voice to what was going on and not just hide behind other people.
Gosh, well, we're so happy that you decided to. And so taking us back to the childhood, that's really the cover of your book when I look at it. So tell me about this girl that we see there.
Yeah, so that's when I was in elementary school. And I think that the cover really shows the juxtaposition of I'm this cute girl, right, innocent, but then I'm stamped as a dumb girl. And I grew up in a family with 3 brothers. It was a pretty toxic male environment. And I had to figure out how to fit into this family as a female. And I gravitated towards sports, which was valued. I became a huge jock. I played volleyball in college on scholarship and this kind of thing. But I wasn't allowed to be a girl in a sense of, if I saw a spider and screamed, I was told, don't be a dumb girl. If I had to pee, don't be a dumb girl. If I wanted to try out for cheerleading, no, don't be a dumb girl. So it was all these things. So what that messaging that I got so early on and repeatedly throughout my childhood was, don't be dumb and don't be a girl. And so I cheated on spelling tests. I had a night with my father where he was very upset about me failing a social studies class. And so he had me, it was a very abusive night. And then at the end of the night, he had me put all my F papers up on my wall and said to me, now all your friends will see how stupid you are. Now as an 11-year-old, that really impacts you. And I fell asleep and I woke up to that wall for months.
That's awful.
And it really does, it does something to your head. And when you're 11 and you're trying to figure out who you are in this world and your identity, that's my identity. So I've always thought I was dumb. And so the cover really, really encapsulates that feeling. And I think as women, we often feel that imposter syndrome.
Definitely.
We feel like we don't belong, we aren't enough. And so I really wanted to write this book to inspire others that no matter your past, whether it's abusive or not, we all have this feeling that we don't belong and that we aren't smart enough. But we are, and we can thrive. And for me, it was me finding my passion around gun violence prevention and facing the NRA and facing gun guys who are screaming at me.
Oh my gosh.
And finding my power through that.
And I want to talk about that. You actually carried a gun for a month to better understand the other side. So how did that really approach your bridge to, to that divide?
Yeah, I remember specifically I was protesting up here in Seattle at the original Starbucks because the Starbucks was allowing people to openly carry firearms in their stores. And I'm with my young kids, and I was uncomfortable with that. I didn't like that. I didn't want to be around that. And so I was doing this protest, and these guys show up, open carry, just so intimidating. They're screaming at me. And I thought, what do they know that I don't know? I became very curious, like why are they carrying these guns? Why do they feel so unsafe? And so I thought, well, the only way to do this is put my, to walk in their shoes.
Literally.
And so I bought a gun, and I got a permit to carry in Washington State, and I carried the gun with me everywhere I went for 30 days. The grocery store, the bank, the yoga class, church, friend's house, business meetings, and what happened was I became really paranoid. I'd go to the grocery store. I'm not just looking at which tomatoes do I want to buy, but who else is carrying. I'm looking at waistbands. Who's the threat? Who might come in and shoot up the store, right? And so it was unnecessary thought process that was going on in my head, and I wasn't enjoying life.
Do you think we can come to a common ground?
Yeah, I do think we can come to common ground. So one thing I really promoted was the Asking Saves Kids campaign. Encourages parents to ask if there's a gun in someone's home before letting your kids play there, because no matter where you are on the spectrum of gun ownership and what you believe about that, we all don't want our kids finding guns that are loaded and unlocked and then shooting somebody.
Definitely.
That's a place to start.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing your story, your deeply personal story. I can't wait to finish this book and see where you go next.
Thank you.
And Heidi will be celebrating the release of her memoir with a book signing tonight at Third Place Books in Seward Park, so make sure to check that out.